Hello and welcome to Education at SSBJ online video tutorials. We were in chapter Reproduction in Animals of class 8th, and in the previous video tutorials we have learnt about meaning and types of reproduction. We have also learnt about reproductive organs or reproductive organs, male and female. Now, before we go into new content of this chapter, we'll quickly revise the previous information so that we can effectively connect the present information which is to be learnt. We have learnt that a sperm from father and egg from mother is required for fertilization, right? So fusion of sperm, that's a male sex cell or male gamete. This is female gamete or female sex cell, which will be resulted into a single cell which is called zygote, and then it converts into embryo and then fetus and then baby, right? After this we have learned about main parts of male reproductive organs as well as female reproductive organs, and what are the main important parts of a male reproductive organ. The first one is testes, and testes are the places where sperm is produced. And then we have seen those sperm will move through a path called vas deferens or sperm duct, and that sperm duct will allow the sperm to move through urethra along with the jelly, or we can call it as a semen, through penis. So urethra is a part which is inside the penis. So third one is penis. These are important parts as far as a class 8 syllabus is concerned, right? Other than that, there are many other parts which are beyond the scope of our syllabus. This is regarding male reproductive organs, right? As far as female reproductive organs are concerned, to start with ovaries, right? So the green color portion here, ovaries are responsible for production of female gamete. And what are female gamete called? Egg or ova. So that egg is developed here, and that egg will slowly move towards, right, the fallopian tube. And why is egg required? Because sexual reproduction requires egg and sperm to be fused for the continuity of reproduction, and so ovaries are responsible for production of egg. And you know, egg is a single cell, therefore this has all the components of a cell, just like a sex cell from a male which is called a sperm. Sperm is also a single cell which has all the components of a cell such as nucleus and cytoplasm and all those which you have already studied. So ovaries are responsible for the production of the cells, production of the egg, and then the egg will move to a fallopian tube. Next is a fallopian tube, and somewhere here in between the fallopian tube there will be meeting of sperm with the egg. And once the meeting is over, once the sperm gets inside, then a fertilized cell is formed which is called zygote, and that zygote will slowly move towards the next important part of a female reproductive system called uterus, right? So this is the part where the zygote goes and stick to the walls and start growing. So that zygote will go into, you know, embryo and then the fetus, and the child will grow into a baby here. This is what you can call it as a womb, right? And child will go here before it comes through a cervix and then towards vagina. So these are the parts of female reproductive organs which we have already completed, right? So we have understood the process of fertilization is nothing but meeting of egg cell from mother with the sperm cell from father. right? So father will give a sperm and mother will give a egg. New individual which is formed will have both the characteristics of a father as well as mother. So if a child is born because of the fertilization of these two, so this child will have all the possible characters of a father as well as mother, okay, because these carries chromosomes and they are the materials to transmit characters from parents. If you look at a particular family, you will find the children are just similar to their parents. Either they resemble mother or a father, right? Now suppose if a question is asked in the examination that describe the process of fertilization in the human beings, what should we write? Should we draw a diagram or not? Now we shall discuss. Question is, describe the process of fertilization in human being and how we can write answers for this. So we have to write always stepwise, point by point, in brief to score mark. The first step in the process of reproduction is fusion of a sperm and egg, right? Egg or ovum, both are same. So you can draw a picture of a sperm as well as egg. Next, this process of fusion of egg and the sperm is called fertilization. So a sperm and egg will combine together and that process is called fertilization. And then what happens? Okay, during the fertilization, a nuclei of sperm, right? A nuclei of sperm and a nuclei of egg, they come together and they become a single nucleus, right? And what is that called? That is called zygote, right? So the next step is the single cell zygote begins to develop into multicell. And what is that step is called? Formation of embryo, right? So the single cell zygote becomes a multicellular organism called embryo. So within 7-8 weeks of this stage, that embryo moves towards the uterus and then it converts into a fetus and finally baby will be coming out. So this is the process we have to write as far as this question is concerned along with the diagram. Please remember this, right? Fertilization which takes place inside the female body is called internal fertilization. You can see right on the screen. In humans, it's an internal fertilization because the entire process of fertilization till the baby comes out, it is inside the mother's womb, or we call it as uterus. And so as in some animals such as cows, dogs and even the hen. Yes, even in the hen, the fertilization takes place internally. The egg which is coming out of the hen is already fertilized egg, right? But in many animals, it takes outside the body of the female. So first you remember, fertilization which takes place inside the body of a organism is called internal fertilization, right? And the fertilization which happens outside the body of an organism is an external fertilization. Generally it happens in the organisms living in the water, right? Or those organisms they live in water as well as land, or we call them as amphibians, such as this is the example of a frog as well as toads. They look similar but they are quite different. Toads have a kind of shorter legs and a rough skin, and that is what the main difference between a frog and toads. Now it's interesting to know how the fertilization happens in this case, right? Generally in the pond during the rainy season, when the water is moving inside the pond, you will find these frogs slowly move into the water, right? And they slowly move into the water, and the female will lay hundreds of eggs inside the water. And these eggs are very delicate. They are covered with a kind of a jelly, and that jelly, that's the thick liquid, will protect these eggs. So this is an egg of a frog. Now interesting thing will happen. The moment the female lays down all the eggs in water, the male goes over it and drops a sperm. Okay, now it's a chance that in whichever egg a sperm goes and gets fused, the fertilization happens. So what has happened here is, fertilization has happened outside the body of these organisms, either frog or a toad, right? So since in this case all these process happens outside the body of an animal, this is an example of external fertilization, and it is very common in aquatic animals such as fish, even in the starfish, right? So we have learned that some animal give birth to young ones, but some give directly a birth to young ones without laying down the eggs, right? Such as elephant, they don't lay eggs. Humans, they don't lay eggs. Dogs, they don't lay eggs, right? But what about aquatic animals? Toads, frogs, fish, birds, they lay down eggs, right? So there are two different types of fertilizations happens. One is, by laying egg, right? Other one inside the body without the laying egg. So there is a classification. Remember these two words, viviparous and oviparous, right? The animals which give birth to young ones are called viviparous, directly without laying the egg. So these are the examples of this. And those animals which lay eggs are called oviparous. Okay, how will you remember? Okay, egg will be like O shape, no? So it's the oviparous. So you can connect that information to the shape of the egg, right? And if you can remember this will be easily remembered, right? So we have almost come near the end of this chapter. So hopefully we'll complete in next video tutorial. Keep all the informations of previous video tutorials of this particular chapter. Thank you very much. See you in the next video tutorial. Thank you again.